Hello, everybody. Welcome to another podcast. My name is Charles Alvarez, CEO of Cornerstone Growth Solutions. Today, we have Brad Carlson with us. I am very, very excited about this podcast because he brings some very unique and I think timely perspectives to what it takes to start, manage, run, and grow a technology service company. Brad, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Charles.
So, if you wouldn't mind starting us off talking about your background, what got you here, did you lose a bet or what happened?
You're not too far off. Um, well, first of all, thanks for having me on the show. It's a great opportunity to talk about where I've been and talk about the good things we're doing today. But uh, um, I started I started my career in academia, and I've been through several transitions since grad school. But um, academia is important because I'm actually working with two of my former students right now. One of them is my
Wow.
boss, right? So, two of my best students during the first 10 years of my career landed at IPS, and I'll talk about how they got here. But basically, spent, started in academia as a technology enthusiast, really focused on developing new integrated circuit design methodologies, new integrated circuit design approaches. Um, and felt like I needed to be more at the system level and closer to the customer. So I transitioned into private industry, working for a company called Symbol Technologies, which is now part of Zebra Technologies, but it was the inventor of the laser scanning barcode we all see at retail point of sale every day.
Hmm.
Um, during my tenure there, my boss at the time, Mitch Mayman, left Symbol 2007 to form IPS. So I've known about IPS and I've known people in IPS since the very beginning. In any event, I finished my tenure at Symbol and transitioned into medical devices. That was an opportunity for me to go into leadership roles, uh, not just executing R&D and developing systems myself, but leading people that are developing systems. So I transitioned to Danaher Corporation in a dental imaging group. So it's a medical product, X-ray imaging for the dental office. Very exciting area doing 3D imaging, developing 3D imaging types of equipment. And I spent about 10 years there. That's where I really grew as a leader, starting as leading a small group of half a dozen people to ultimately leading a global R&D team of 200 plus engineers.
Wow.
Um, and we developed a lot of great products. It was truly an opportunity for me to learn and grow. And then from Danaher, I transitioned into a company that does neuromodulation therapeutics in the epilepsy space in particular. That company is LivaNova. It's a London-based company, but the neuromodulation group is based in Houston. I spent about 4 years there developing active implants to treat epilepsy and depression, as well as we had a device for sleep apnea. And that really is an up and coming growing area. Active implants are being developed for all kinds of peripheral nerve stimulation to treat disorders or to eliminate pain. Um, and then so over the course of the 17 plus years history of IPS, at some point in the last 10 to 15 years, they recruited two of my students. One is Bob Wild, he's now the CEO of IPS, and the other one is Jan Adamski, he's the CTO of IPS. They both studied under me. So between Mitch, the founder, and Bob and Jan, they kind of rallied their efforts to recruit me, and here I am.
Congratulations.
Thanks. And it's rewarding. It's a great team. It's an opportunity to have an impact on many clients that are developing products um, for the medical device space, as well as we work in the industrial space and oil and gas and consumer spaces as well. But my focus really has been medical devices and bringing more medical device clients through the door so that we can help them deliver products to doctors and patients.
Very nice. That's fantastic. That's a heck of a career, and it's there's nothing like working with people that you yourself know, like, and trust. So you mentioned a couple of target markets there. Tell us a little about for IPS. What are the main target markets or ideal client profiles or industries that you are uniquely positioned to serve?
Yeah, so we're uniquely positioned to serve clients that are operating in a high regulatory environment. So automotive, oil and gas, defense, as well as medical device. And we have a very senior staff. We have staff with a lot of experience in all of those industries. And we've been through several projects where we've solved significant challenges for our clients that no one else was able to solve. And that's really, the ability to come back to the basics and identify solutions that are out of the box thinking. That's where we excel.
Got it. Got it. So you mentioned out of the box thinking. What are some of the challenges that these companies that are in very highly regulated industries, like you mentioned, what are some of the challenges that they should be experiencing that would make sense for them to have a conversation with IPS?
So it's time to market challenges. So, maybe their execution is not as lean or as efficient as they would like. It could be uh, material challenges, could be technology challenges. It could be something completely new. So, one good example of an IPS project. Do you mind me mentioning specific clients?
As long as you're comfortable, absolutely.
So one of our clients, and they've been a client for over 10 years, is Steinway Pianos. And it's not a highly regulated environment, but it's a very unique environment in that uh, every piano is custom, every piano is produced right here in Brooklyn, New York. Very high end consumer type device, but low volume, high end, high performance device. And the challenge that they faced was digitizing or electrifying an analog piano.
Hmm.
Right. So their grand piano, their grand piano, their premium analog grand piano was they were faced with uh, produ developing a player piano in that form factor, in that style. And the IPS team took on this project, not having any experience in the music industry, not really understanding the piano physics behind it, but they were able to decipher all of that, implement mechanisms within the piano to measure the physics of hammer and keystrokes, um, digitize that, ultimately producing the Steinway Spirio, which is in the market today. But that digital piano, well, it's a digitized electronic analog piano specifically, not purely digital, but it records and plays back the precise velocity and acceleration of each and every keystroke and hammer that results from it. So the end result is it's an exact playback, meaning if a professional records their music and they make a mistake, the mistakes are recorded.
Oh, wow.
And it's even to the point where we developed a system that can broadcast that a live digitized uh, player across the internet to the piano in your home. So if you own Steinway Spirio and a professional is offering this type of concert, you can stream it into your own piano. So they could be playing in Berlin and the music will be coming out of your piano and it's coming out live exactly the way they're playing it.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool.
That's very,
And
very cool.
developing that kind of system requires mechanical, electrical engineering, firmware, software, sophisticated piece of equipment, but it's just outstanding, outstanding engineering on an outstanding platform like the Steinway piano. It's a really unique capability, and you can see videos of it on YouTube. It's an example of how we can take something that has never been done before, something very unique, and productize it.
That's very cool, especially with such a great brand name as Steinway.
Right,
It's
right.
very,
And they're an outstanding client. We love working with them.
that's great. That's great. So, I appreciate the example. That kind of shows your capabilities that, it sounds like you don't have to have a cookie cutter approach, that you really seem to understand or gain an understanding of what the client's looking to accomplish. And you've got the team of, I believe, about 60 people, correct?
Right,
That that
right.
have the capabilities and the experience to be able to handle that. What are some other examples of the types of projects you have done that seem to be prevalent within the regulatory space?
Sure, sure. I mean, you did hit the nail on the head with regards to understanding the needs of the client. Um, and that's, understanding the needs, understanding the constraints, understanding their end goals, and reducing that to product requirements around, execution and delivery. That's key. We have another client based here in New York. That's a spinoff of the Feinstein Institute, company called Nuvotion. It's a
Mhm.
startup. Um, they're also widely publicized their capability, but they're making a transcutaneous neurostimulator that attaches to the lower arm of a paralyzed person, enables movement and function. And the device is FDA cleared, currently in evaluation and running some trials, but we helped with the electronic design, firmware development, and software development. So it's controlled. It's basically a microcontroller exercising these stimulation points on the lower arm and thumb that would enable, say, extension or or flexion of the hand, enabling somebody that's been paralyzed, even paralyzed for years, to grip small objects, to lift a
Wow.
cup to their mouth to drink from a straw, that kind of thing. And they have a long roadmap of future things they want to develop that we continue to help them vet out and plan. But it's great technology. You can really, when you see the videos, and again, you can find these videos on YouTube and other places. But when you see the videos and you see the reaction of patients when they're able to do something, when they've been paralyzed for several years and they're able to do something they haven't been able to do, it's just incredible.
Well, I hate to use the word because I'm not meaning it as a pun, but that truly is, I mean, life changing. You're enabling a human being to do something they couldn't do before, which is not something that you typically hear a technology company do. So I think that also speaks to the types of projects you can do, from the Steinway project to that. It's more than just creating software. It's also improving the lives of the people that you are interacting with, which I think is fantastic. So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
so question for you: the types of clientele that you work with, you mentioned regulated. Is there a particular size of company you work with, and what's the advantage of working with your team versus, let's say, somebody's listening and say, well, I already have a team of developers in-house. Why would I need somebody like Brad and IPS to help us out? How would you address that?
Well, first, I mean, if they do have a team of capable developers and they can do it in-house, then maybe it's not a good fit for us.
Right.
But it depends, right? So we don't want to take on business if we're not the right fit. So we work with a client to really understand and make sure that this is the best approach for them. We work with large clients and small clients, startups that we have a list of startups that we're talking to that are looking for funding now. So we're not actively developing product because they don't have their funding, but we're doing what we can to position them to go get their funding.
Right.
We work with large companies that have large organizations that maybe their staff is their staff is already fully booked on other projects. They want to start something new, so they can start it in parallel. They can get ahead of their roadmap by bringing a project to us, and we can execute with their team. We, in some cases, we collaborate with an internal R&D organization. So we'll do pieces of the design. They will do pieces of the design. We'll take advantage of the strengths on both teams to optimize the execution. But we just started a project with a client that I know very well historically, and we just started this project, and their engineering team is fully booked on other projects. So they came to us to try to accelerate the next version of this existing product because they're facing some stiff competition. They want to get to market sooner. So rather than plan it for their team 2 years down the road, they can start it with us today.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And I mean, like you mentioned, like a very highly competent team that really has, I mean, based upon the projects you've described, a pretty large array of capabilities that they're able to deliver to the marketplace versus just developing your cookie cutter, mobile application, for example. I mean, I'm sure
Yeah,
you could do that as well, but it sounds like your capabilities are far reaching than that. So I'd like to learn more about just the way that you operate your company. Like we mentioned last time as we got to know each other, our audience is filled with lots of executives, and you mentioned to me about your culture that is one of the key aspects that you look to drive, and really that is one of the components that has made you successful. Talk to me about that if you don't mind, because I think a lot of people on our call, kind of think that's a soft skill and that's woo woo and that's but talk to us about the importance of culture and why you think it's so important on how you operate and run your company.
yeah, great questions. It's, I mean, culture is something that, has been important to me throughout my career. And what I mean by that is, working with really smart people, maybe that don't think they're the smartest person in the world, or they have that humble element to them that they're still open to learning, listening. What we do every day is we learn new things. We have to, right?
Mhm.
When we're addressing the kinds of challenges we have to be open to new solutions. We have to be open to new ideas, and we have to be open to listening to our client and understanding exactly what they need. That is the basis for our success, is delivering what our clients need. So, culture to me comes down to three things: humble, humility, being humble, being hungry to go after the goals and objectives and really hit the target, and then being smart about people, being smart about who we hire, who we interact with, how we behave um, on a daily basis is really critical. And I think IPS has that. Like I said, I've known some key individuals here for many years, more years than I like to admit. But it's just really it's really great to be working with them again. I've worked with a lot of really smart people in my career, and this team ranks up with the best of the best. But at the same time, there's that there's that humble element where they don't walk into the room thinking they're the smartest person. They walk into the room trying to figure out what they can learn from everyone else that's there, and that's the key. And that makes us good collaborators too, willing to share what we know and willing to understand and take in what other people know.
And and how does the client take that? Like, does the client recognize that? Do they see that at play? And if so, what is some of the feedback you got from your clients on conducting themselves in that manner?
I think I think the clients see it from moment one because of the questions we're asking and the way we're listening, right? So we don't come in with a heavy sales approach. In fact, you know, I would say we don't have a pure salesman in the company at all, right? Our executive team is doing our business development and client recruiting, and we're doing it by, demonstrating our portfolio, our record of execution, and we're doing it by investing in investing the effort and time to understand our clients and understand their needs,
Right.
right? So I think our, when we get clients to the table, they're often quite interested in talking to us. Sometimes we can be in a client meeting, could be a prospect that's looking to do a project. We might teach them something in the first meeting that gets them off and running, and they don't even need us.
Well,
That's okay,
yeah,
not a problem,
yeah,
right? We want to engage with clients that really do need us, and potentially lifelong clients. It's not everyone becomes that lifelong client, but that's our goal is to solve the first problem, and that will be fuel enough or you know adequate enough for them to come back to the table and talk to us about their next significant problem.
right. No, and that definitely builds, I'm sure, quite a bit of trust with your clients and maybe even prospects because they're like, wow, they really have my best interest at heart. One of the things I have told many of our technology and technology service clients is, look, you have fallen in love with your technology or your service. You need to fall in love with your client and your prospect because at the end of the day, the technology is a tool to get you from point A to point B or from where you are now to where you want to be. And it sounds to me that based upon your three great core values, which I wrote them down, humble, smart, and hungry, um, I think that is aligned more with the client. I noticed like one of your core values was not technological experts, even though I know that your team is. But it sounds to me that if they don't have those three things, their technical aptitude is probably greatly diminished because they don't have those three qualities. Is that correct?
That's true. That's exactly right. Because technical expertise is the foundation. It has to be there, but these other things enable one plus one to equal three. Not to
Right.
coin a phrase, but that's where collaboration multiplies is when these values coexist with that technical capability.
That's great. Any other things you want to mention to our audience that you think is pertinent, Brad, about technology, about your service, about your culture, about how you run your operation, how you've grown your operation that you think would be helpful to our audience?
I think we've been through the AI um, um, AI revolution for the past few years. And I think, for us, AI and machine learning were things that we already knew about, but, the launch of ChatGPT and OpenAI and the numerous other large language models that are out there took this to a new level for us, honestly, right? So, it's been a great opportunity for us to engage with those tools and understand how they play in our business from both the business development and technology development side. And I think, our clients are seeing some benefit from that. These tools are making us more efficient, enabling us to leverage them. They're not replacement tools. They're not
Right.
going to put people out of work, but they're going to make our team more efficient. They're going to make us better at what we do. And, I think it's we can leverage it to improve our quality and improve our efficiency. So higher quality output in a shorter period of time.
That's great. That's awesome. Brad, I really appreciate you being on the show today. If somebody wanted to learn more about your company or check you guys out, what is the best way for them to do so? Is there a website they can go to or a LinkedIn? So, what is the best way for them to learn more if they chose to?
Yeah, LinkedIn is a great platform. They can look up me on LinkedIn, Brad Carlson. Um, my email is bcarlson@ips-yes.com. So Intelligent Product Solutions, we go by the initials IPS. Our domain for our emails is ips-yes. Our website is intelligentproduct.solutions. So you can look us up directly on our website, and we have a web form on the website. You can drop a note there. I'll pick it up, or just shoot me an email directly. Happy to engage and talk about your challenges. And if it makes sense, then we can explore some collaboration. If not, we're just willing to have the conversation and see if I can't help you move the needle in your business.
Sounds great. Brad, thank you so much for being our guest today. I think the information you shared with us was very helpful. I think our audience will value it. And thank you for being on our show. And congratulations for building such a great business, especially doing it with people that you know, like, and trust. And that's a cool story. I didn't realize that you used to be their professor. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, it is. It is. Thank you, Charles. Really appreciate the opportunity and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Looking forward to it as well. Thank you, Brad.